888-777-9674. Wichita, Kansas, and Kathy. Kathy, welcome to the program. Hello, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy, you there?
No. Well, let's go after Brooklyn, New York, and Tiffany. Tiffany, welcome to the program.
Hi, Pastor Joel. Hello? Victoria, how are you?
Hey, we're doing fine. Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Hey. Hey, what's up?
Not too much. Go ahead. You're on the air. Great to have you.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Kathy from Wichita.
Okay, Kathy, we got mixed up here, but go ahead, Kathy. We love having you. That's where we want to be in Wichita.
Oh, that's great. Hey, I know this isn't Disneyland, but hi, Victoria. Hi, Joel.
Thank you.
I love that. You keep doing that play off of Brian. That's cute.
That's great.
Hey, I just wanted to say that I just got 30 years of sobriety, and I wasn't raised in a church, and I wasn't raised with God or anything like that, and I was 22 years old, and I was drinking and using drugs and kind of going down that path, and I ended up watching an episode of Star Trek, and it was whether or not Edith Keeler lived or died changed the fate of the world. And at that moment, I felt like that's when God entered my heart, and it was like Jesus came into my heart, and it's like my whole life changed. And I just know that it matters whether you live or die can change the fate of the world. And from that moment, 30 years ago, to this moment where I'm talking to you today, knowing that it matters whether you live or die can change the fate of the world. And it's like you guys talk about that all the time, and I just feel beyond blessed that I can talk to you. And I've even written a book and kind of written stuff down, and somebody told me, if you could talk to Joel, then magic's going to happen. And so I feel like today's my day. I feel like I'm start crying. I'm so grateful that I got to talk to both of you. It's like I know that God's there. He meets you on the road where you are, because I wasn't really familiar with God, and what was I? I was wasted in watching an episode of Star Trek. So He meets you at the road where you are, so never give up.
Oh, that's so good, Kathy. We're blessed to meet you. I believe it's just a divine connection. It was meant to be. Tried not to get you there at the front, but Reed tried to catch you off there. I'm just kidding. No, that's great. That's so great, Kathy. I love that fact that, you know, one great decision you made way back 30 years ago. Look where you are now, and I think you flip that around. Maybe it brings some weight to it to say maybe there's a decision that I could make today, that somebody, you know, listening, that you could make today. You know the right thing in your heart, whatever that is, and maybe, you know, if you make that right choice today like Kathy did, perhaps 30 years from now, you'll be calling in, or you'll be telling somebody, wow, look what I did in 2015. I decided to, you know, make a change from this life that I was living, whether it was, you know, whether it's, you know, not treating people right, whether it's some kind of drugs or alcohol, whether it's just being negative and depressed or letting discouragement or being bitter. Boy, this can be a day you draw that line in the sand and say, okay, God, I'm going to make a decision to move forward, to do the right thing. And like Kathy, I believe I'm going to step into a new level of my destiny.
Isn't that interesting? God works in mysterious ways, you know, and it was the heart that was prepared. And Kathy just was there at the right moment. But you know what I love? I love the fact that she sounds as happy today, 30 years later, when that happened to her. It's just the enthusiasm and the joy is real. And when you have a God moment like that changes everything for you, you know what? You can be that excited. So it's so good to talk to you. Thank you, Kathy.
I like that. Just, you know, that's a great point, Victoria. You never lose the amazement. You know, 30 years later, there's Kathy. You can just feel that victory in her voice. Boy, it's easy to let what God did become a little routine or mundane. But boy, think about when your child was born. You were so thrilled, and 20 years later, you're thinking sometimes, oh, man, this is a lot of work. But you know what? Remember what God has done. And the other funny thing that, you know, you said God works in mysterious ways. He used an episode of Star Trek for her.
Exactly.
To just say, you know what? This is time to do something different.
And she said it. Kathy said it. God will meet you along the road that you're at. Yeah. And the truth of the matter is, you don't have to be at church to find God.
That's right.
You can be anywhere. You know, God is with you. He's around us. It's just that we have to realize that moment. And she had that epiphany, you know, that, you know what? My life makes a difference. And I think that's really where, you know, God was trying to get her, is that you're not a waste. You're not a mistake. You're my masterpiece. And too many people today, you know, their life may not be where they want it to be. And they've taken on this attitude of, well, I'll never get out of this. And this whole thing is a mistake. But that's not the truth. God doesn't make mistakes. He only makes masterpieces. And so I am so glad that Kathy had that moment of truth and realized.
888-777-9674.